Hacking in video games has always been a relevant thing for people to attack one another or attack someone they're mad at in a game. But in 2011, a group called the Anonymous started somewhat of an attack on PSN that turned into an internal attack, losing over 77 million accounts and credit card information through Sony's website and their network. So when you purchase a PlayStation or an Xbox relative, you can't just play every game right out the box. There's this service they have, and it is called a PlayStation Network, and it costs around $60 a year to get. Whenever you get that, it gives you basically a upgraded subscription to be able to play games and be able to talk to people, play with friends, and whoever you want. Now, prior to this attack, customers and users of the PlayStation base were able to run Linux and other operating systems that they could run on jailbroken PlayStations, and it was a very common thing to occur. And Sony was aware of this, but when two famous hackers started creating a website to allow open source, free source things to download and people to jailbreak their PlayStations, it became a very widespread thing. Sony then decided to take action against these hackers and their website with the free source and jailbreaking information that was needed for people to download for free. In doing so, they angered a lot of groups and people, which started sort of a train of hacks that happened against the PlayStation Network. So when those two were sued, the group Anonymous was very angry with the company PlayStation, and what they did is they wanted to hurt the company by DDoSing attack and overflowing their servers, which in turn closed and shut off their servers for a day or two. Now, while all of these external attacks were happening, the big attack that would eventually lead to the downturn of the network and the entire PlayStation service happened from within the organization, and the leak and breach of over 100 terabytes of information was released, which in turn released 77 million users, passwords and names, and even some of the addresses of the users that were in the database. This occurred within the company and was a highly criticized moment in the PlayStation history because the executives and higher-ups decided not to mention or to talk about this for about a week. So while the breach was happening and all the information of the customers was happening, this was not made public for about a week, which got a lot of government notice, and the US House of Representatives and even the British Information Commission's office both took action against this company. Eventually, once Sony released the information and the warning about this attack, it was too late, and a lot of the information that was lost during the breach actually got used in other attacks as well, from hackers that took the credit card information, and for years and years to come, many people had very big issues with their identity stolen and credit card information loss. Now, because of this attack going for so long and the breach happening for about a month, this kind of changed Sony's outlook. So after they recovered from this attack, they implemented an entirely new structure within their database and also internal services that secured the customer's data by a whole lot more, And also, they implemented new operating systems in their PlayStations that didn't allow for jailbreaking or any of the previous operating systems adjustments that could be made by people. And although this attack ended up with a more secure system and a more secure outlook looking forward for not only PlayStation but other companies as well, I think the loss of 77 million customers' data from an internal breach and an internal attack shows just how sensitive the passwords and materials that can be lost in translation when it comes to teaching your employees the security and safe way of running the business and working in the business, whether that turns into a breach like this from a simple password loss or, clicked on email. I think this was a good turning point that a lot of people could learn from, and a lot of companies should stray away from, as far as training their employees to do the exact opposite of those within the PlayStation Network.